I want to start with a heavy, semi-squeezing, holding, seated curl.
To be honest, this isn't a way that I would personally start my leg day, but I definitely do see the benefits of starting with a leg curl. This is a great way to start your leg day if your hamstrings are your weakness and you really want to focus on them, and also if you want to pre-exhaust them going into your big heavy compound lifts.
And when I say semi-squeezing, I'm talking I am going to hold and squeeze at the bottom of every rep while I'm strong. And as I get weaker, the reps will kind of begin to get quicker until I really can't do anything of a meaningful range of motion.
So what Sam's basically saying here, he wants to lift with intent. Every single one of those reps, he want to feel them and really squeeze at the top. His form's going to break down as fatigue hits in, but he's still just going to force a few more reps out because that's where the gains are made. On the seated hamstring curl, Sam actively pulls himself forward into the pad. This anchors his body and lets him drive maximum force into the movement. That stability means he could squeeze at the bottom for a second or two, fully contracting the hamstrings. He controls the negative to increase time under tension. Then, as fatigue sets in, shifts to quicker reps to crank out volume and take the muscle to total failure.
Definitely leaning into the theme of some nasty sets here. And by nasty, I mean, look, I'm not saying bad. I'm saying heavy, done at, a bit more of a faster kind of pace. But in no way do I feel like this is throwing weight around, to an extreme degree.
For me, when I think about doing those nasty sets, it's normally exercise specific. For example, those big compound lifts like leg press, hack squat, or pendulum squat, which really take it out of you after you do those lifts. So that shows how intense Sane actually trains to get this feeling after just a seated leg curl machine.
Definitely more so than a light squeezing set. So it's certainly a style of its own. I'm not going to say that like everybody should do sets like this all the time. But in the mix, I mean, shit. When I move on to the lane curls in a minute for the last probably 3 or 4 finishers, they're going to be very different.
So I really like this point what Sam says. Everybody thinks if you have one specific training style, you could apply it to every single exercise you do. But that's just not the case. Some exercises you may get benefits from doing slow controlled reps, time over tension. And on the other hand, with other exercises, you might want to do faster reps that really gets the blood flowing in the muscle. If you're enjoying this video so far, give it a thumbs up. It'll really help the channel out.
Yeah, this stack goes up to 150. And I don't think, even when I'm fresh, I've never done like a full stack set of these leg curls just because it's so hefty.
So with lay-in leg curls, going heavy isn't something that I would personally advise. So this is a machine where your setup is key, and if it's not set up correctly, you might not be able to feel the effects in your hamstring. You might just be going through the motion of the machine without properly stimulating your hamstrings. So I'd always advise go light and really squeeze at the top to feel those full benefits.
And even just doing a feeler just now with 80, a little too heavy. So 60, and these will be very controlled. Not that those weren't. So actually, I think the word controlled is kind of wrong. I'm just thinking slower with more emphasized portions of the rep.
So what Sam is suggesting here, at different areas of the lift, he's going to be doing different things. I'm assuming on the eccentric rep, he's going to really slow it down and really feel the stretch at the bottom. And once he's at the bottom, he's going to throw the weight up as fast as possible and really squeeze.
Even though my hamstrings are now tired out from those 5 heavy sets, I'll still be able to get all the way to the top and get a little extra squeeze.
So it's crazy to even think about. Before going into the lay-in leg curl, Sam done 5 killer sets on the seated leg curl. So Sam's not trying to break up the fatigue with a quad exercise. He's just going all out just to burn out his hamstrings. I definitely see the benefits of doing this style of training, and that's hamstrings ticked off. He doesn't have to worry about going back to them after doing a quad exercise. On the lay-in hamstring curl, Sam uses the same technique, pulling himself into the pad to help force the reps up. He really emphasizes the squeeze at the top, fully shortening the hamstrings, then follows with a slow, controlled negative to increase time under tension and keeps constant stress on the muscles for maximum growth potential.
Yeah, maybe 2. There's potential for 1, but I don't know, there's potential for 2, 1 guaranteed.
So this is a pretty mature way of training. He's playing it by ear and just seeing how he feels after 1 set. He might just do 1 all-out set, see how it goes, because that might just be enough for the quad. But to be honest, my personal experience training like this, if I go into an exercise saying I need to hit a minimum of 2 or 3, I would always go with the lesser option, just because I would personally be mentally checked out after the 2nd set.
And part of the reason why I like the leg extension, it's the most, honestly, out of everything, the leg extension is the most squeeze focused movement for quads that I think you can get your hands on. Everything else is stretch focused.
So that is a great point. That the quads are made up of 4 different muscles, you really want to get the most out of training them. The majority of quad focused exercise, your hack squat, leg press, squat, you get the majority of the stimulus at the bottom of the movement when your quads are in the stretch position. Leg extensions, on the other hand, you get your stimulus at the top of the movement when you're squeezing.
But gonna do alternating 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 until just about, as much as I can do, and either repeat or move on to a press.
So by doing 5 reps on each leg until he totally burns out, he could be going on forever. It is a great way of training. Each leg is getting his full attention, so he's really feeling that mind-muscle connection, one leg at a time. But for me personally, that quads are such a big muscle group, it's very taxing as it is to train your legs and your quads specifically. So do you like to train your legs one leg at a time? Let me know in the comments, I'm curious to know. On the leg extension, Sam switches things up, training one leg for 5 rep burst until the quads are completely torched. Unlike his slow controlled hamstring work, here he's going for fast high rep pump style, driving blood into the muscle. As fatigue sets in, you'll notice he spots himself pulling the lever with his hand, squeezing out every last rep to push past failure and fully exhaust the quads.
If you've been watching these lifts long enough, then I'm sure you've noticed a very different style of execution, right? I'm talking, better range of motion, I feel. Overall, just better execution.
So when Sam first burst onto the fitness scene, he was a bit of an enigma. A lot of people did criticize his style of training. So now that he's at the top, he's done so many different collabs with so many different people. So he's probably just taken pointers and tips from so many different fitness influencers.
But one thing that I do not, want to try to translate is the idea that there is this superiority to a slowly executed set, right? Like, I think there's nothing wrong with it. I'm saying it's good. I've literally been doing more of them as of late than ever before, because you're not going to hurt yourself. You can really bring it, and you're really putting yourself into whatever muscle you're hitting.
So Sam's traditional style of training is just going as heavy as possible and lifting the weight, not really focusing on form, time over tension. He just wants to get that weight up, down for as many reps as possible. And there's nothing wrong with that. This doesn't mean slow controlled reps focusing on time under tension is right and Sam's style of training is wrong. Each person has their own favorite style they like to train.
There's no invalidating the benefit that I at least feel personally from heavier, quicker, just kind of nasty sets, And as much as I'm going to see, you're not going to hold the squeeze. You're not going to... Look, man, if we could Neuralink and you could feel how my quads are feeling after these sets, I think you'd have a different sensation.
Exactly, he enjoys lifting this heavy kind of weight and he still feels the exact same benefits as someone would doing slow controlled negative time under tension. The most important thing is going to the gym and doing a style of training you enjoy.
Taking a couple of minutes to amp myself up for this one. 10 plates on this hip press is pretty hefty.
So let's say he went straight to this machine without pre-exhausting his quads. It would take him a minimum of 30 to 45 minutes to get 5 plates on each side. So by pre-exhausting the quads, it's a great time saver.
But those were 2 awesome openers of leg extensions, because even just squatting down and bending my legs and stretching out my quads to get, just right there to sit down, I can feel that they're tense because they've got so much blood in them already that it's kind of adding a little bit of this elastic effect.
So Sam went all out on his pre-exhaustion sets, which I respect. So now that his quads are feeling like this going into his heavy compound lifts, he's going to feel the full benefits of it, and it's going to be the quads that give away first, then his hamstrings or glutes.
Which is part of why I like pressing with a quad pump already, at least for most regular working sets, because it just feels better, right? You're not getting a crazy squeeze anyway, so if they're pre-exhausted and already kind of got some damage to them, it just kind of adds an extra level to these, I feel, beyond just the fact that they're hard.
Exactly, you want to make an exercise or a set as challenging as possible, and that's exactly what he's done by pre-exhausting his quads. On the hip press, Sam's lifting with complete intent, matching the speed of the eccentric and concentric for total control, and using full range of motion to recruit every fiber in the quads and glutes. At the top, he takes a brief rest pause to catch his breath and reset for the next rep, which could help maintain form under heavy loads. On the final rep, he grinds to failure, uses his hands to press his knees for that extra little help, squeezing out that last bit of work. If you're enjoying this video so far, give it a thumbs up.
Back off, lighter squeezing torturous set. So half the stack here. Yeah, actually just pretty much exactly half the stack. And these are gonna be very methodical. I want every rep to do its damage and then repeat.
So what he means by methodical is he wants to lift with intent and really feel it in his quads and really finish them off.
So I'm not talking as much like flailing, except for, you know, maybe toward the end once I'm kind of just about a failure. But before then, good hard squeeze at the top, really feel every freaking part of my teardrop all the way up to up here. Tighten as much as possible. And back down to repeat.
Exactly, this isn't Sam's usual style of training by doing partial reps and going heavy as possible and getting the weight up no matter what. He really wants to control the weight. So now Sam is doing the leg extension with both legs at the same time. This feels a bit more controlled compared to the single leg work, with a slight squeeze at the top of each rep. Once fatigue sets in, he pushes through by forcing out extra reps and finish with length and partials to really burn out the muscle.
Okay, I think one more supersetted with some sissy squats and that'll be enough. Oh, man.
So sissy squats after a leg extension sounds absolutely brutal. Whenever I use a sissy squat superset, it's normally after a hack squat, but I might have to give this superset a go. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried this combo and let me know what you think of it.
My goal with this set is to just get my quads as pumped as I can possibly get them.
So if you know Sam Sulek by now, at the end of each of his videos, he always does a pump check. So he just wants the blood flowing to those muscles just so he can reveal them at the end of the video. So he's going for a more pump style training now to really get the blood flowing in those muscles.
And sometimes I like to finish with like this kind of set of, you know, like light squeezing, really burning, holding reps. But today, I'm in a little bit more of a mood for some quicker, dirtier reps. So these are going to be quicker, just burning, rapid contraction to stretch back and forth, back and forth.
So that Sam has already done leg extensions today. He's completely switching up the way that he done it at the beginning of the video. Before he only done 1 or 2 sets, 5 reps on each leg at a time until he burnt out. Whereas now on the other hand, he just wants to do faster reps to really get the blood flowing to those muscles. So this is a great reminder, you can use the same machine or the same exercise on the same day.
And then once I'm pretty much cooked on just the leg extensions, flip around, body weight sissy squats, holding the back of the seat for balance and a little bit of assistance towards the end.
The sissy squat is a brutal exercise and horrible for mobility as well. It's an exercise it will take a while to get used to if you've never done it before. So he's going to be using the seat of the leg extension to slowly guide himself up without taking any tension off his quads. So Sam finishes with a superset of leg extensions and sissy squats. On the sissy squat, he's not going full depth, but he keeps constant tension on the quads by pumping out the reps. He lightly touches the chair for balance, making sure none of the tension comes off his quads. Sam Sulek's leg day is now on the screen. Give it a go and let me know in the comments how you got on with it. If you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up and watch this next video.